Hey there, let's talk about contractors. Not everybody is meant to be working on these, and not everybody's going to maintain the right pride of quality of work when they're working on our manufactured homes. I've had quite a few crews that have told me, well, it's just a manufactured home, it's not, a mansion, and, you're asking for unrealistic finishes. Well, the thing is this. No, I'm not. And we do have individuals that are willing to do that. And it's a matter of, in some cases, going through some individuals in order to find the right crews for your jobs and to get them finished to a certain product. You don't have to sacrifice at quality and finish work. You don't have to do that. Obviously, there's going to have to be an agreement and a buy-in between you and them as to what that number is going to be and what that time frame can be for you guys to be on the same page with scope of work being done, quality of work being done, and what the budget is. The big thing is that construction and managing construction is its own little animal. It can go sideways. It can be a painful experience. It could be a situation where you're babysitting grown adults. It could be a situation where it's very pleasant and everybody's on the same page and people just crank through things, and very minimal things that need to be going back and adjusted or corrected or modified or touched up, and we move on to the next project. And so over the last 20 years being in the trades and overseeing these projects and having a bunch of different crews, we've had some crews that have come and gone. We've had some guys that have outgrown us, and or vice versa, we've outgrown them. We've had some situations where some people get greedy. Some people's situations, sometimes they change and they get into a situation where their quality of work, their consistency of being on the job site, or where their price points end up being different, and so it doesn't end up being a good fit any longer. And it's okay to move on from somebody, sometimes potentially in the middle of the project. There are some people that claim that they know how to do things on these manufactured homes when they really don't, and they're not willing to learn. And so the quality, if you will, within quotes, of work that they do ends up being, just horrible. It's not a good quality finished product, and you have to keep in mind that the management and owners of these companies that are over these parks are watching. They're watching closely, and they are going to be noting what you do and what you don't do, and how fast you do it and how fast you don't do it, and then the quality of finish. And they're going to have their own opinion, and in some cases it might be right, in some cases it may not be. So the big thing is, trying to do your best to be able to find the best people to fit, to be a good fit, to be a match, setting the expectation, having a contract in place. The contract is going to spell out very clearly what the scope of work is. The recommendation that I have is that the more specific you are, the better it's going to be. Is it going to be taking longer to put up that scope of work? Yes, but it is going to be less ambiguous, and you're going to have less problems on the back end when work has been finished and it may not necessarily be to the standard, or the finishes may not necessarily be what you were looking for, or what you thought was going to be the final product, and now you have you and them, the contractor, butting heads. So being very, very clear with what the scope of work is and identifying what that is, and then also setting a budget that is specific and identifies for that. You want to spell out labor versus material, who's going to be handling what. You also want to identify the time frames for payment. Typically we do 50% up front, 50% when it's finished. For our larger ticket refurbs, what we will do in those scenarios is we will do possibly a quarter or a third payment system to help out with that. If you're having cash flow problems, you have a bunch of homes that you have not listed for sale yet, haven't closed yet, and you have enough money to get started but not like 50% of what the total is, maybe look to do a once a quarter scenario. Just keep in mind that if you do not have the next disbursement, they're not going to continue working. And you also want to make sure that it's very clear as to not only time frame but also how far in progress they are in the rehab, what they've been able to accomplish before they can collect that next payment. Some of these guys become very, very, very lazy in those scenarios and will not get a lot of work done within the time frame and then expect another payment when they haven't even really gotten to past what the first quarter payment should have covered. Some of these guys and gals that are out there that are working in our trades that are helping us out, sometimes they can manage money better than others. Some of them just, you'll see toward the end of the project that they'll start cutting corners with material costs. So if material is part of it, they're going to be more inclined to pay themselves and pay their guys and gals that are doing the work than make sure that you've got something other than, some cheap garbage that they're putting up in your as a light fixture, or some cheap garbage that they're looking to do as far as a bathroom faucet. So in a lot of cases, in order to control those things, what I will do is I will buy the finished items such as the knobs, the pulls, the hinges, the light fixtures, the bathroom fixtures, anything that's the finish work. I will make sure that I have that taken care of before they have an opportunity to do so.